New tracks for Thomas. Early one morning, Sir Topham Hatt came to the train yard. "Good morning, Thomas," he said. "I have big news. We are adding a passenger train to one of the freight branch lines. Because you have been doing such a good job, we want you to pull the new train once a day." A new train! Thomas felt proud. There would be new tracks to ride on, a new platform to stop at, and a new station house to see. All for Thomas. "Of course, there will be more passengers," said Sir Topham Hatt, "and more work," Thomas told him in a boastful way. The other engines weren't so sure, Edward said. Thomas was too excited to pay attention to old Edward. He might have trouble with new tracks, Thomas thought. The new passenger train was to start running the very next day. "This is an important event," Sir Topham Hatt told everyone. "People will be coming from miles around." Thomas wanted to look his best, so that afternoon he was carefully washed down. Then he got a bright paint job. He said to Edward. The next day, when Thomas's paint was quite dry, his coaches Annie and Clarabelle got into place. The driver climbed into the cab and they were off. Clackety-clack, Thomas was heading for the new station. "Make sure you read the signs along the track," Sir Topham Hatt called to him. "Remember, Thomas, it is a new way for you to go." Edward shouted after Thomas too, he said. But Thomas wasn't listening, he said as he chugged along. Soon Thomas picked up speed. Clackety-clack, clackety-clack. "Slow down," said his driver. "We have to be sure we are going the right way." But Thomas only went quicker. He did not listen to Sir Topham Hatt. He did not listen to Edward, and he was not going to listen to his driver either. He said. Now Thomas is going even faster. He whizzed past houses. He sped past farms and lakes. Clackety-clack, clackety-clack. Signs went by in a flash. "Slow down," his driver said again. "We must read the signs." But Thomas didn't stop to read them. He wanted to get to the station as fast as he could. He wanted everyone to know he was a really useful engine. Soon Thomas grew tired. He slowed down just a bit and looked all around the countryside. He saw a water tower and cows grazing in a meadow, but they didn't look familiar, said Thomas. Clackety-clack, clackety-clack. Thomas came to a stop. He felt just awful. Sir Topham Hatt was waiting for him at the new railroad station with all the new passengers. And where was Thomas? Lost, Thomas said sadly. A big tear rolled down his cheek. Then Thomas sighed, and a puff of smoke billowed out of his smoke box. "Is that you, Thomas?" cried a voice in the distance. It was Sir Topham Hatt coming around the bend. "I saw your smoke. Now move along. Everything is okay," said Thomas. The railroad station was just down the track. Thomas started up once more, thought Thomas. And Thomas hurried along the tracks. Clickety-clack! "Hooray! Hooray!" the passengers shouted when they saw Thomas. Flags waved in the air, and a band began to play. Sir Topham Hatt said, "Everybody on board." "All aboard, Thomas." Thomas smiled. He was in the new railroad station and just in time. But then Thomas looked at his driver. He looked at Sir Topham Hatt. They did not look pleased. And Thomas knew something still wasn't right. He said to both of them. Back in the train yard, Thomas said the same thing to Edward. He told his friend. Now Thomas was happy. He knew next time he'd do it right. Next time, he'd be a really useful engine. And sure enough, Thomas was clickety-clack, clickety-clack. The following day, Thomas puffed carefully along the tracks and headed straight to the new station.